Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube. Why? The crazy, just enjoying doing videos and enjoying letting your authentic personality shine through, and also enjoying the channels that you watch. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. As you're watching beauty related content, try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand or a certain tool or a certain technique. Use whatever you want to, however you want to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube, we are about self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. I need to let you know, if you're new here, I do curse on my channel sometimes because I curse sometimes, period. So if it sounds like I said something, I did. If I stammer or stutter, I did. If you hear me hiccup or belch or my throat gurgle, it did. It's unintentional. My throat just has a life of its own. So thank you for being here. I have lots of playlists for you to browse through, lots of links down below, lots of information down below. And I hope that you will stick around, and I hope that you enjoy this video. What are we doing in this video? You see from the title, we're talking about MAC Cosmetics. MAC used to be the it human being. It used to be the it thing. And then somewhere they just kind of, I don't know if they went on hiatus and they just didn't tell us, or they were just doing the bare minimum to keep the stores open. I don't know. But back in the day, I used to love MAC shadows, and then I don't know, they just weren't on my radar at all. And then recently, you know, this year, 2023, you'll see this in 2024, I started noticing something new, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then as I went back to some of their shadows, I was like, yeah, this is the love affair I had back then. Like, where have you been for the last 15, 20 years? And so I kind of feel like MAC is no longer that it human, but it can still be. So I'm going to talk about the limited edition, which came out, I think, in October 2023, which may not be available anymore, but we're going to talk about it anyway. And we're also going to talk about what's not limited edition, which is their connecting color palettes. They're 12 pans and they're 6 pans. And so I'm hoping these are still around when you see this video. Of course, MAC is sold at MAC stores, and it's also sold at Ulta. So I would say shop at Ulta because of the point system, you know, and, you know, extra points and the rewards and all of that stuff. But whichever you shop through, whether through MAC or Ulta, if you're shopping online, shop through Rakuten because you get cash back on your purchases. So when I saw the connecting colors, the first two that I saw, if you've seen my eyeshadow collection video, there were two parts, part 1 and part 2. I talked about how what you see on the outside is what you see on the inside. So we're not going to do that for every palette. But the first two that I saw that caught my eye, this one caught my eye first. This one is connecting color, Hi-Fi color. And I also saw this one, which is Future Flames. I didn't want to just get what looked to be a monochromatic palette, and so I got them both. And I think Ulta was doing like 5 times the points or something, 10 times points, something. And so that's what had me looking at MAC. And I'm like, I remember I used to love their shadows. So of course I used this one first. I think we did 2 looks using 2 columns each. The looks were fantastic. The formula is as I remember. It is, yeah. So if you want color, here you go. You can use it on its own. You can pair it with other stuff if you want to. This one, I thought it was a monochromatic palette. It's not. And when I used this, I think we did 2 columns, 1 look, 2 columns, the second look. I think that's what we did. And you know what? This may be blasphemous. And some of you agreed when I said it in that video. This has Sunlit Seduction vibes. No, it's not dupes. I'm not saying that. I said the vibes. Similar vibes. If you look at Sunlit Seduction and you look at this palette, this one has a lot more variety though. If you want the wet look, high shine, shimmer, shimmer, then you are going to want the Pat McGrath Celestial shades. But if you're okay with just some pretty ass shimmer shades and a lot of variety, Future Flame is it, y'all. And so it is a comparison in a way because it's the same vibe, not dupes at all. The formula is different. I love MAC's formula. I do. I really enjoy Pat McGrath Mothership matte formula and also her metallic formula. The Celestial shades, I like the creamy ones better than the flaky ones, but I have learned to work with them. But I can pick up this palette and know I can do a nice look and it's not going to be a mess. And with this palette, in comparison to Sunlit Seduction and the variety this one has, because you have more deeper shades, more deepening shades. If you do the traditional almost skin tone shade for transition, a shade 1 or 2 darker than that one as your crease, and then you do a darker outer corner shade, and then you pop a shimmer on the lid. Because Pat McGrath's mattes sometimes are similar in tone, you don't have that variety. But if you want to do that, you have this one here, you have this shade, you have this one, you got this one you can deepen up with. This can maybe substitute for the Skin Show shade. No, it's not as shiny as that. Actually, this one is pretty shiny on me. But this can substitute for that. And then you have this orangey shade. You have a gold. You have this shade. You got this coppery shade. You got this one that's similar to this one, but it's just deeper. It's a little bit warmer. So you see what I'm saying? You have so much variety in this 12-pan palette. No, it's not the high shine, wet look, shimmer, shimmer. But if you just want a solid color story, same vibe as Sunlit Seduction for a fraction of the cost and have more variety, MAC got you. Future Flame, that's what it looked like. And it's not heavy as a brick either. Full price is $54. MAC sometimes has 20% off sales, 25% off sales. Ulta, they have sales, 20% off coupon codes, which sometimes includes Prestige, which MAC is considered Prestige at Ulta. So you can get it less than $54 versus $128 for a Mothership. But if you want that high shine, you know that's where you're going to go. If you're okay with just some sparkly shimmers and much more variety, easier to travel with, a lot more variety, MAC got you. This right here, I love this palette. And so I am glad that I got it, even though I'm like, that's a monochromatic palette. I don't really want them tones, but I am really glad that I have it. Another one just in comparison, and it's not a dupe. It's the same vibe. It's not a dupe. This one is Unfiltered Nudes. What you see here is what's on the inside. When I looked at this, initially I wasn't going to get it because online it looked dusty. MAC palettes look better in person. So do yourself a favor. Go into a MAC store if your MAC carries. I mean, go into Ulta if Ulta carries MAC, or go into a MAC store. This is not dusty. We did these 2 columns first look, these 2 columns second look, and I thought this was going to be super light and ethereal, but it wasn't because of this shade, and that shade. That look was really beautiful. This gives me Mothership #1 subliminal vibes, minus that, I think, what is in that one? Green, blue, something. Minus the Celestial shades. If you look at the left half of the palette, the first 6 shades, that's these vibes, y'all. And you have more variety with this one. No, you don't have that wonderful black that's in there. But if you get hi-fi color, there's a matte black in here. Right over here. So if you get that, you know, you got a black. And there's a couple other ones I'm going to show you that has some really deep tones in it too. And so if you just want a nice, easy, smoky look, which is what subliminal is, MAC got you. And another one, I'm kind of hesitant to show you because it might be sold out. But if you're saying, oh, what doesn't have that pop of blue, if that's what was in Subliminal, this was the one of the limited edition ones. This was the only 12-pan limited edition. Look at these blues in here. These blues are friggin' gorgeous. So if you're like, oh, this doesn't have a blue, okay, pair it with this one. Pop one of these blues in here with this palette and just pair it. And you have a black in here, right here in the corner. Yeah, I did hit myself in the head to make a point to show you what it was. But these palettes, y'all, the formula is amazing. This doesn't have any vibes the same as the Motherships. But this is a very versatile palette because you're looking at these. I did a look with this row and I thought it was going to be monochromatic and it really wasn't because of how the tones show up. And MAC for me does show up true to pan, but this was like a very pretty smoky look and it had a lot of depth to it because of these two shades right here. I did look by rows. Did a look with this row. Did a look with that row. This one was smoky as hell because of these two shades. This one was smoky because of this shade and that shade. So it may look like it's a light, you know, wintry palette, which it is supposed to be, you know, for winter. It came out in October, which was good timing because then you would have it for, you know, December. But this palette and the shadows just friggin' work. If you want depth, MAC got you. If you want light and ethereal, this palette got you. If you want to mix and match, this palette got you. And so we're going to put that one away. The shades are just amazing, y'all. The colors, the formula. And so I'm hoping this gives you something to think about. Like if you're not caught up on the names of the brands, even though MAC, you know, used to be, you know, the It Human back in the day, it still has, they still have some wonderful things. And I'm glad they came out with the Connecting Color collection. I'm going to show you the other two limited edition because I don't know if they still have it. So let's just get it out the way. This one, I have them all open, so I'm just looking. This one can give you Mothership vibes minus the blue. As far as the red tones, this purple here, that pink, and that dark shade up here in the corner, this can substitute for a skin show shade. So minus this blue, you can get Mothership vibe out of this palette. I find, though, that with these, I get more variety, though, than with some of the Motherships, especially past Divine Rose. And it seems strange because this is only 6 shadows, but it gives me as much, if not more, than what the Motherships do. This one, when I first looked at it, I thought it was kind of like Bronze Seduction vibes, but Bronze Seduction is deeper in tone. And I also looked at this one thinking it was, you know, Bronze Seduction vibes, and it's not because it's a darker tone. I'm not looking at this one right here in the corner. But I think I thought that because it's just like those tans and coppery colors. And so if that's kind of what you're wanting, you have it in both of these right here. If this one is still available, this is one of the limited edition ones. But this color story, it's just light and it's easy to use. You can smoke it out with either this shade here or this shade over here. Or if you want to do light and ethereal, just stick with these 4 and use this for lash line or use this for upper lash line. So it just works. And it surprised me how much versatility I get with these palettes. And it also reminded me of how much I used to love MAC shadows. And this one that I just showed you, no, it's not a dupe, but it has those coppery bronzy shades. And these are just lovely. It's just a wonderful palette. And this looks like it might not go because it looks like a black and green to my eye. But it does go because it goes to deepen. And if you just want to do for your outer corner or upper lash line, you can do that. If you want to stay light and ethereal, just stay right here. This is a nice vibrant shade. So I guess I should say light and ethereal, stay with these two and this one. But these are just wonderful palettes. And so I just want to encourage you that if you're looking for a particular color story and you want a solid formula, MAC Connecting Color, they got you. And the last two I'm going to show you, this one is, I didn't tell you what the names of those were. This one is Embedded in Burgundy. Look at these tones. This is beautiful. And you have 2 deepening shades, this one and that one. And these 2 do show up different on the lid. This is a beautiful palette. Like, I can't even say anything. It's just a gorgeous palette. This one is a smoky palette. This one is encrypted kryptonite. Yeah, encrypted kryptonite. So this is kind of wannabe subliminal vibes too. What is that palette that has black metal in it? That's what this reminds me of. I can't think of which mothership it is, but this shade reminds me of that black metal shade. I forget what palette it's in. But, you know, you can deepen with this. You can deepen with that shade. This can substitute for your skin show shade. If you want to stay ethereal, just do these right here. I'm just, y'all, don't sleep on MAC right now. Especially not this collection. Because some of their collections, And so when I saw the connecting color, I was like, oh. And I only checked for it because of the email from Ulta with the point multiplier thing. So I was like, oh. If you're looking at, you know, something like this one, Embedded in Burgundy, and you're like, okay, I need more, you know, also get Unfiltered Nudes and pair it. Pair it. Look at these. You can pair them. You can do that. Or if you get Future Flame. I really love the looks I did with this palette. If you want variety, pair it. And because they're not bricks, you can take them both if you're traveling, or have them both out to do looks with. But you have so much versatility with this, with the deepening shades. If you do regular transition type stuff, all of that, outer corner, your lid shades, whatever. Yeah, I'm telling you, y'all, don't sleep on MAC. And if you're not sure about the hi-fi, okay, pair it with this one. Use the browns and taupes from this one to mix with the hi-fi color palette. Don't let this intimidate you. This palette is really fun. The only shadow that did not show up on me was this yellow, which is chrome yellow. It did not show up on me at all. It was a challenge picking it up on a brush, and then it had the nerve to not even want to show up for the party. But other than that, all of these palettes I'm showing you, the formula is phenomenal. I have no problems, not a lot of fallout, if any. And the shadows just work for me. And I have sensitive lids and they don't irritate my lids. And so I just wanted to do this quick video just to say, you know, I know, you know, Pat McGrath is still a coveted brand, even though I'm still questioning who's running the company, because it is not artistic at all. And I get a thrill when I hear other content creators talk about it. Like, this is so far off the beaten path of the first 3 motherships that it's just like, who's running the company? But then, you know, they were also saying how, you know, when COVID came, a lot of things had to change. And I think, well, there were investors involved before then, but there's different investors at different times. If you look up the history of Pat McGrath or you Google it, you can find information that way. So, but I do really believe the investors are running the company, because this, what's coming out with Pat now, past, you know, well, Divine Rose 7, Divine Rose 3, Mothership 7, it's been all just kind of the same thing. It hasn't been that artistic, avant-garde, out-of-the-box, revolutionary color stories. And so it helps me not get caught up on, oh, Pat McGrath, because it's like, I don't even think she runs the company no more. Because of how, because of what the, because of how the collections are looking at how they're coming out. So it's just like, you know, you are the dame, and this is what you do? This ain't what she do. What she do is the first 3 motherships. That's what she do. Because she do runway. Runway is not all just basic, simple color stories. But anyway, MAC though? Unfiltered Nudes. Hi-Fi color story. Future Flame. Encrypted Kryptonite. And I do have looks with all of these palettes. Check them out. Bronze Influence. Embedded in Burgundy. The 3 limited edition ones. Snowbody's Business. They had all those pretty blues in it. Sparkle Storm. Which one was Sparkle Storm? I think I had a... Well, this was Sparkle Storm. I don't know what I was going to say. I thought it was in here. And Cabin Fever. That's this one. So if you're wanting a lot more variety, good formula, easy to travel with, easy to pull out at your station and pair with each other or with other stuff, and different color stories, and a formula that's going to work, I highly suggest you check out some of the MAC excuse me, so rude. Connecting color palettes, even if you just go into Ulta or MAC and just watch them, or go to MAC and have them make up your face with one of them on and see how you feel about it, how it looks. But there is so much that can be done with these palettes, and I can lift all of these up and I feel like my wrist is gonna break. Well, the 6 connecting colors. There was one more called Rose Lens, but it was rosy tones and I didn't want that one. But these right here, I'm all awkward. Screenshot. I know I'm so weird, but I highly recommend it. And again, not dupes for the motherships, for some of the color stories in the motherships, but I think it is a solid contender, especially if you're not all about the high shine, shimmer, shimmer, wet look. If you're okay with just stuff like this, MAC got you. And no, this is not one of these, so that was not a good example. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know if you're like, troll, you crazy even coming at Pat with MAC. Say how you feel. We grown. We can talk about it. Like, I don't care. Come for me. Say what you want to say. But I do know MAC is a solid formula. And when they get the color stories right, because as I said, some of their collections, I was just like, who that for? But the connecting color, do yourselves a favor and check them out. And that'll be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts below. And yeah, thank you for being here. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon.